All right, here's our video on 3x2, one back. A lot of people call it ace, ace strong. One of the most popular formations, spread formations in Canadian football, whether that's the U Sport level, high school level, CFL level, you're going to see a ton of this. If you are looking for more plays out of 3x2 and more of these breakdowns, make sure you check out our two back breakdowns from last week. We did the same format with 3 plays. Free on our channel out of each formation with 2 back. So 22, 3x1, and 1x3. We also did an 8-play install for our members. So if you're liking this, there's more of this content coming. We just dropped another members only post this week on the 3 high safety defense, which is becoming really, really popular in the States. And is a concept I think coaches around the world should be learning about. But we're going to continue to post members only content this week. We have throughout the weekend, we'll have an 8-play spread install for 3x2, and then coming as well soon will be the 2x3 install, both the 3-play free version and the 8-play version for our members, and then 4x1 as well, exact same format. So all that coming in the next few days. Really, really excited about it. There'll be weekly free content coming out, but also weekly content for our members. So it is worth it if you want to take a look into that membership. It's $4.99 a month. Helps support us, what we're doing here at 3 Down Development, trying to create more resources for Canadian coaches and coaches around the world. So taking a look here, 32. One of my favorite things out of 32 is attack the will. Really try and high-low that low wall player in the boundary. I think with the Canadian boundary of the boundary field in Canada is much wider than the American field. There's a lot of space there, but it's also a shorter throw. I think we all know that some of the challenges throwing the ball to the field in the Canadian game. So taking a look here, it all starts for us with, we want to read the free safety. This gift corner route is all about the matchup on number 3. So if you love the matchup on number 3, whether it's on a Sam linebacker or maybe they're bringing the Sam linebacker and they're bringing the free safety out and we think we can stand in and deliver that throw, then we will. If we get a chance, maybe there's no free safety there. Maybe the corners are playing low. You get a pretty good read that it's inside man coverage from the Sam, and you have a chance to take a shot at that corner. Then we'll take a shot there. But really, what it's doing is it's influencing this free safety to the field. Okay, so if we take a look at that pre-snap, try and move the free safety a little bit, or at least threaten to that corner, that's great. Okay, but really, what we're looking to do is if we get a vertical push from the W, we're going to try and push off the high player, okay, and then snap this glance underneath. Now, what we want to do is melt these 2 receivers together. So what I mean by that is the W is going to be a few yards ahead, okay, and like you can see here, the glance route is going to kind of get in his back hip pocket, okay, and as that glance comes together with the W, we're going to push through, get that high player off, and then snap this glance underneath the high player on top of the linebacker and create that natural high-low as we out-leverage the high player and get on top of this will linebacker. We'll pull the drag from the Y underneath. If that will replaces, we can drop it down to this Y underneath. If the Mike is able to run with the Y, now we have a second drag. We can take it to the Z. Those drags can sit down and find space in the middle of the field there and become a check down option as well. I think this is a great play at any level. I think high school coaches should really look at this as a primary way to attack, especially if you're getting quarters coverage. This is a real challenge to defend at a quarters. Even if you're just getting cut too high, a kind of too high look where that boundary half is off, that can be really, really tough to defend. Our next one here, and I know we've talked about this out of a couple different formations already with some of the stuff we did last week, but I think it's a great play and can be really tough to defend at any level. I think out of the spread offense, I couldn't make one of these without having this in there. It's a staple for us. We're going to read the defensive end. We're going to run inside zone up front, and we're going to slice that H-back across. You can run any number of combinations. We drew up some when we were in our two-back stuff last week. But here we have the snag on the backside. The W is going to run the corner. The X is going to run that pick route and bang back out, try and become a target. And then our H is going to slice underneath. So they're going to cross the center after the snap. That's an important coaching point. Okay, we want to make sure we're deep enough that when we get to that backside end, we're able to get a clean release into the flat. We want to be upfield from the end. Okay, if that end flies upfield, yes, we can sneak underneath. But if that end plays any sort of shuffle, we don't want to be in a position where they can get their hands on us. Quarterback is going to read the hips, shoulders, and momentum of the defensive end. If we get those shoulders turned, those hips turned, or we just get too much momentum come down the line of scrimmage, quarterback can pull it and then look to read 1 to 2 to 3 from the corner to the snag for that flat route. If there's any sort of pressure when he pulls it, like let's say they chase the quick but blitz the boundary half, that's where we have our slice option, hopefully as a great check down to have there. In terms of blocking the inside zone, the right tackle here would be in a base block, one-on-one, and then the center and guard are going to double to the Mike. Backside guard and tackle are going to double to the Will, those being the first and second linebackers in the box, respectively. Love having the running back's aiming point would be the inside hip of the guard. I think that's critical to keeping the linebackers in front of the D-line, or in front of the offensive line, which allows them to be confident, physical, and effective up front. Our last one here is 61 stick ducks. So we're going to stick to the field, ducks to the boundary. This is my go-to quick game. Okay, if I only got 3 plays to come into a game, I want to have some kind of vertical concept here, whole field pass concept where we can get the ball to a variety of players. I want to have a run game concept where if they're going to play the run really, really hard, we can keep them accountable by working this slice. And then lastly, you get your quick game concept, kind of your all-weather concept to keep the sticks moving, stay ahead of the sticks. And get the ball to your athletes in a position to have yards after the catch. So Tommy Condell from the Ticats did a great video on this with us breaking down the stick concept. But we're going to run the fade from number 1, that classic takeoff route where we're going to fly down the field. Our quarterback hits the end of his punch one-step drop. He can cut that loose. And I've got a couple pretty good high school quarterbacks that I'm fortunate to have on my own team. And we have hit that fade a couple times in practice. Whether it's man-to-man coverage or the high players not staying deep as the deepest, it's great to keep that guy accountable. Really, what we're trying to do with that route is take the high player off the board and then stretch the flat player with this flat route. So we're immediately going to start gaining width. We're going to hit that sideline 4 to 5 yards, and ultimately we're trying to create space for this out route. If we pull this halfback out, that's going to create room for this out route. This sticky out here, we're going to get to 4 yards and attack the outside shoulder of the Sam linebacker to create space with our stem. See that angle there? All right. At this point, we're going to stay on that outside hip of that Sam linebacker. We want to make sure we have outside leverage. Okay, at 6 yards, now we're going to snap it to the out. All right, and then if that half player sits, we're going to sit, and that's going to increase the space, the horizontal stretch on that flat player. If that flat player widens, we're just going to run the out. If we get man coverage or that flat player widens, we can run the out, create separation from the Sam, and sit it down. This is a big timing throw. If that half sits, we want to be able to sit and drill it on him. If he squeezes it all, we should be able to take that flat route. On the backside, just a double slant man beater here. If we get man coverage across the board, pre-snap read can be a great situation to come to this, especially your X on the backside. We give them the opportunity to sit if it's zone as well. So if our W runs the slant, he's locked on the slant. He has to run the slant. He's not going to look to sit until he passes the will. Okay, but this read slant look, okay, we run the slant. We should be able to sit down before that halfback if we get zone coverage. So against both sides can be great against man or zone. Ultimately, what we want to do is give the quarterback some options. We can work the matchups. Can also take stuff based on leverage. So if we get a hard inside Sam, this looks great. If we get any outside leverage from the DBs, right, these slants look great. Ultimately, it gives us an opportunity where we're able to attack whatever leverage we get. Again, stay tuned. We got more coming out. If you're looking to be a member and get a little extra content each week, we already have a members only video that's out this week on attacking 3 high safeties. Okay, but make sure you check out our other members only content from last week. We posted a lot of 2-back installs. We did our 3-play sets as well as our 8-play members only sets. And then we're going to have an 8-play install coming out this weekend as well at a 3x2 with 2x3 and 4x1 coming soon. So thanks again for our members. If you aren't a member yet, check it out. Thanks for supporting what we do here at 3 Down Development.